the world with an explosive performance that quieted controversy.
There's nobody else that's singing like she is. There's nobody else that's giving the energy that she's giving on stage.
A path to superstardom that started with a shy little girl.
Beyoncé was really a quiet kid, kind of to herself.
Whose father launched her career.
Beyoncé automatically stood out, and I mean, everybody would say that.
R&B royalty, fashion icon, and now a new role, mother. Beyoncé as you've never seen her, from the people who know her best. I'm Nichelle Turner here at Staples Center in Los Angeles, home of this year's Grammy Awards. On the eve of music's biggest night, we're bringing you a half-hour special on one of the world's hottest music stars. She's earned 16 Grammys and set a record for the female artist with the most wins in a single year. She's been breaking barriers and topping the charts since she first stepped on the stage as a 9-year-old little girl. Here's the story of Beyoncé finding her destiny.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
Inauguration day for President Barack Obama.
So help me God.
With Beyoncé singing the national anthem. It was a moving moment.
Every time I look at her, you know, singing for the president and performing worldwide, and then I think, you know, that was my baby.
Darlette Johnson was Beyoncé's childhood dance teacher.
I know that she's Beyoncé. I know that she's worldwide and everybody know her and everybody screams and touch her. But even when I see her, she's still my Beyoncé.
A proud moment that didn't last long.
Did Beyoncé fake it at the inauguration?
This was a question on a lot of lips in Washington today.
Beyoncé and her lip sync stunner.
Did she or didn't she?
Did she? Didn't she? And does it even matter? This was Beyoncé's response, posted to Instagram. Online and on air,
I'm saying leave Beyoncé alone.
Was it live or on tape?
She became a hot topic of conversation.
I'm not surprised that she did lip sync. I still don't think she did, though.
I just think people think there just has to be something else behind who she is.
Gail Mitchell writes for Billboard magazine.
That no one's really that nice, no one's really, you know, that gracious. And maybe that's why people attacked so hard with the whole inauguration lip syncing.
It turned out that Beyoncé had used a pre-recorded track.
Would you guys mind standing?
But at a press conference 10 days later,
oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Beyoncé silenced her critics. The punchline?
Any questions?
Not likely.
It's all the different countries.
Matthew Knowles is Beyoncé's father.
Sing at this time.
And for decades managed her career.
You know, at 15, 16 years old, you don't quite yet have the maturity to quite understand or how to take criticism.
I messed up, so I said stop. And I did that anyway, so if I messed up your question.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
So as she's gotten older, now she's a grown-ass woman. So, you know, she understands it.
Beyoncé feels this is her time.
I feel like 30 is the ideal age because you're mature enough to know who you are and to have your boundaries and your standards and not be afraid of too polite, but you're young enough to be a young woman. I'm very aware of who I am and I feel great.
For Beyoncé Knowles Carter, lately it has been one hell of a run. Back in the summer of 2011, there was a tummy rub at the Video Music Awards. By the next January, the singer, dancer, actor, filmmaker, entrepreneur, and fashion icon was also mom. And with the birth of Blue Ivy came a new burst of creativity.
I think as a new mom, you get a renewed sense of strength, of purpose, of whatever, and I think that that's gelled with her and having Blue Ivy. Next thing you know, it's Super Bowl. It's just, 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Beyoncé emerged from a 4-month break ready for reinvention.
I think as an artist, you have to constantly reinvent yourself.
June Ambrose is a stylist to husband Jay-Z and a friend of the couple.
It's just part of the job that you constantly are under construction, always working to be relevant, always thinking of different ways to make a comeback and not compromising who you are as a woman, as a person.
All of the noise and all of the glamour.
And there could be no bigger stage for her next act
1, 2, 3, 4
than the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
The crowd's reaction when she stepped out on stage during halftime was, now the real show is going to start. It's like, I felt like the football team was her opening act.
Unmatched energy and an eye-popping look.
She was a superhero. It was scantily clad, it was tough, it was salacious.
Beyoncé has evolved into this being that you just expect greatness from, to the point where great isn't even good enough anymore.
Pop star Neo collaborates with Beyoncé.
There's nobody else that's singing like she is. There's nobody else that's giving the energy that she's giving on stage, and much less doing it at the same time and doing both well at the same time. There's nobody else doing it.
For 14 minutes, singing live and backed completely by female artists, Beyoncé lived out one of her dreams.
I definitely feel that it is my job to empower women, and I remember having this dream that my band was all females, and I told my male band at the time, I'm sorry guys, y'all are so talented, but you're not women.
A coincidental power failure provided the perfect metaphor for the lights out performance. How do you think she did?
How about exceptional? And it's difficult because you don't have a long time to rehearse. You've got to be on in the world. I think 140 million people watched her.
Does it get any better than that?
I would be just as proud if it was 10 people.
A new album, a huge world tour, Beyoncé is ready for the next big thing.
In 2013, what's new anymore? Gotta say hats off to her as an artist, just really trying to thrive for whatever's next.
What's next for music's hottest star, and where did it all begin?
The whole audience was rocking her name. Beyoncé, Beyoncé, Beyoncé. And that was back when she was like 7, 8 years old.
That story, next. Before she was the diva,
Divas getting money.
Before she was the queen bee, she was just Beyoncé Giselle Knowles, a little girl in suburban Houston.
Beyoncé was really a quiet kid, kind of to herself.
Hoping to get Beyoncé to come out of her shell, Matthew and Tina Knowles sent their 7-year-old daughter to Darlette Johnson's dance studio.
Harder, harder.
When you first saw her and she first came in, I mean, did you even notice her?
What I did notice about her is she was very shy. You would ask her, what's your name? Beyoncé Knowles. You could barely hear her speak. I said, can you say your name again, sweetheart? Beyoncé Knowles.
But on the dance floor,
Beyoncé would dance so hard that she would lose her costume pieces. Sometimes her hat would come off because she was fierce.
It was here that Beyoncé created her now famous alter ego.
Now that's Sasha Fierce.
Yes.
That's who that is.
When she got on the stage, she became a different person.
But no one knew Beyoncé had a secret.
I hummed the song and she finished it and it blew me away. And I stopped and I told her to sing it again and she wouldn't sing again because once again, she was very quiet, very shy. And I promised her $1. And she sung it again and I was floored. And when her parents came to pick her up, I told her, she can sing. She can really sing.
A multi-million-dollar star was born.
And I remember her sitting on the floor and I'm telling her, you're gonna be so big. And I remember her, she was looking up at me. I said, you watch.
The world looks good
At local talent pageants, the pint-sized powerhouse quickly made a name for herself.
Before Beyonce's name was even called, the whole audience was rocking her name, sounding her name. Beyoncé, Beyoncé, Beyoncé.
Everybody listen to me.
Judy Faustin took Beyoncé to many of these pageants.
She always won the competitions. We may have had 500 plus junior talents, and she always stood out.
Thank you.
Adorable. Now, are these all the trophies she won from doing the talent shows and the pageants?
This is from the pageants, yeah.
Wow.
Yet no one imagined that at this young age, Beyoncé would already face the ugly side of fame.
In school, you know, there was some jealousy because she began to be a local star. So there was some jealousy of girls, and they said some mean things to her.
But the bullying didn't stop her. Fame came knocking at the door of her mother's salon.
Some ladies came and said, you know what? En Vogue was hot at the time. And they said, you know, we'd like to form a version of En Vogue, but a younger version of En Vogue. And we would like to have Beyoncé be the lead singer of the group.
Girls' Time was born. Beyoncé teamed up with a group of 6 girls, including her cousin Kelly Rowland.
Beyoncé was kind of the pilot of the group. You know, if they got tired, she would encourage them. I call her the energized bunny because Beyoncé keep going and going and going.
I don't care everywhere he goes.
From the local spotlight to the national stage.
These Girls' Time, ended up going to Star Search, ended up competing against some 40-year-olds.
A perfect score. The challenger, Girls' Time, receives.
And they lose, and they're crying their hearts out. And I go over to Ed McMahon, and I say, Mr. McMahon, and the kids are crying, well, I'm a dad, what do I do? He says, well, all I know is those who lose, they go back and they rededicate, refocus.
And that's what Matthew Knowles had them do. In 1995, he resigned from his corporate job at Xerox to manage the girls full-time.
I couldn't look them in the eye and say, give it your all, if I wasn't doing it.
So that's a lesson that you taught Beyoncé kind of by example too. This is how you dedicate yourself to this craft.
Yes. It was difficult.
All they wanted was a major record deal, and that meant lots of hard work. Here's some rare footage of Beyoncé working on some early recordings. Dwayne Wiggins was their producer.
Beyoncé automatically stood out, and I mean, everybody would say that because she simply was a very focused young lady.
That focus paid off with a big record contract. Michael Malden was an executive at Columbia Records.
We could tell she had pipes, and we could tell, you know, again, they were young pipes, and because that's what you want to do is try to find groups that you can incubate and put in the incubator and just kind of develop.
The group settled on a name, Destiny's Child, and the hits started coming, like No, No, No.
So come and get my love, all here for you.
Destiny's Child was on the express ride to the top, until...
What happened was the girls wanted new management, so that was pretty tough for Beyoncé because her father is manager.
The 2 members who wanted Beyoncé's father out were quickly replaced.
Beyoncé was the one who got the black eye for it, very, very, very unjustly.